Hey, my beautiful people. Welcome back to my channel, Supreme Medium Diviner. Today, we're going to be talking about soul retrieval. So, this video comes from you guys coming in, flooding the comment section, asking me, how do I get my soul back? And this question has come up because of the discussion that I have had on my live shows discussing the soul, what happens to the soul when you die, when the soul goes to the astral. So in this video today, I'm going to be giving you guys an in-depth overview of what you need to do to retrieve your soul. And this is specifically for people who were baptized, who are Christians, okay? So get your pen and paper, take notes because you're going to want to pay attention. This is very important. This is something that you can do that's going to save you in the astral. So like y'all needed this information as of yesterday. So let's go ahead and get into it. But before we do, if you have not subscribed to my channel, please subscribe. Hit the bell so you can be notified when I drop a video. Also, if you feel compelled, please go ahead and comment, like, and share this video. Please beware of the scammers. I do not have WhatsApp. If you need my services, please go to my website. There is a clickable link in my bio. It's Yo Soul Yo Seek. Or you can go to Google or any browser on the web and type in Supreme Medium Diviner, the same name that's on my YouTube channel. Is going to take you to my website to book my services. All right, so let's go ahead and get into it. Oh boy. So this is a heavy topic on how to retrieve your soul. So the reason why I am talking about Christians is because not that they're more important than anybody else, but Christians really have a hard time to go when it comes to having spiritual awakenings. Like, we suffer the most. I was a Christian at one time, so I'm coming from experience. And also, I will get to people who have other situations other than being baptized and going through that ritual. But I want to start with this first because this is where a lot of the concern was coming from a lot of you guys. And I want to make sure that I'm here to help you. So, first off, um, when you get baptized, that is a ritual that you are participating in. You are a willing participant. This is why when you go through the whole baptism thing, ceremony, and even before the ceremony, you will have classes. The pastor wants to make sure that you understand what you're doing and that they're not forcing you. So let's start all the way up to the opening of the doors of the church. And for anybody who's not familiar, this is when the pastor has already finished his sermon and now he wants to call people up who would like to get baptized, and what they call it in the church, giving your life to Jesus. Okay, so they open up the doors of the church and you feel compelled that you want to give your life to Jesus, and you walk down that aisle and you get up there in front of the pastor and you sit down and you wait till they finish with the song and everything, and they close the doors. And what does the pastor do? He asks you why you're up there, and you say, I want to give my life to Jesus. I want to give my life to the Lord. The first thing that the pastor is going to do is he's going to ask you to confess with your mouth right then and there. He's going to ask you, do you believe it in your heart? Right then and there. Why does the pastor do this? For anything to manifest within your life, you got to think it, you got to say it, and then you have to have action. So the thought came when you got out the pew and walked up to the front. The verbalization, the vocalizing it came when you confess with your mouth. The action comes when you do the ceremony. So those are the three things that you have already done to be a willing participant in this ritual, and you have manifested that Jesus is your Lord and Savior, and you have given your soul away, and Jesus is the head of your life, and that's who's running the show. All right. Do you know what you just done? Like, you willingly just gave your soul away. You let somebody talk it into you. One way that they do this is fear tactics in the church. They tell you that if you do not believe in Jesus and confess with your mouth and, let him save you from your sins, you're going to end up in hell and burn for eternity. That is a fear tactic. If you follow me, you've been following my lives. I've told you that nobody can tell you where you're going because the soul controls that, right? So if you have given your soul away, your soul no longer has control over you. All right? You don't have a soul. All right? You're letting Jesus have control of you. Somebody else. Okay? And Jesus, to me, after doing research and studying him and seeing what he looks like, to me, he's a very low vibrational daemon, or the word demon. His only job is to take souls. He doesn't save any soul. He takes your soul, okay? If you subscribe to my channel, been on my lives, you already know this. I'm just trying to catch people up and just give a little background. So let's get back to the ritual, okay? So when you go up there in that church and you do that, the pastor's going to sign you up for classes, right? Because they're going to be teaching you some Bible verses. They're going to be making sure that you understand the word. They want to make sure that you are ready on baptism day, because when they dip you in that water, they need you to be sure. So you've passed the class. The pastor says you're ready to be baptized. So Sunday comes and you go up there to that pool and you're in front of that water about to get dipped. And they want you to say it again. They want you to confess with your mouth. They want you to vocalize that you're giving your soul away in front of the pastor and in front of the congregation. They say when you go down in that water, you are born again. Born again. Why do they say you are born again? Because you do not have a soul. What did I tell you guys? If you are an avid follower of me, a soul does not come into you until you turn 2 years old. So when you come in this world as a baby, you don't have your soul yet, not until you're 2. And the soul does not completely develop until you're 21. So they're saying that you're born again. That's your clue right there. You come right back up. You have no soul. Instead of getting a soul in 2 years, you stay without it your whole life unless you retrieve it. All right? You've given your soul away. That's why you're born again. It's not about transformation. It's just taking it back to the beginning. You have no soul. Let that sink in. All right. So you've done all this stuff and some years have gone by and you've gone through some things in life. And now you have a different perspective of things. You have a spiritual awakening. That's what it's called. Things are not things are starting not to sound right in the church. You're questioning the Bible. You're just getting a lot of questions that just don't seem like you're getting logical answers in the church. So you start doing your own research. You start looking outside the church and you start learning about, who you are. And you're just like, I don't want to be a part of the church no more. So you stop going. You stop going. And you start learning more and more about your spirit. But here's the thing, it's not enough just to walk away from the church. I know a lot of people who have walked away from the church and some who have not and don't know what to do. When you decide to walk away from the church, this is when the real work starts. Okay? When you decide to walk away from the church, you still face opposition. You still have that concept that you need someone to pray to, you need some type of worship. That does not go away immediately. And say it's been years, say let's give it 10 plus years that you've walked out of the church, and you're starting to realize that nothing really has changed for you, and you're just like, what is my next step? So the next step is you got to reverse that ritual. You got to get your soul back from Jesus. So let me tell you what it looks like when you're ready to get your soul back. Jesus is going to come for the attack. He's going to come in, right? He's going to actually make you think that you're the bad guy, that there's a devil, trying to hold you back and that it's not him. The reason why you think that it's a devil and not Jesus is because you don't think that Jesus is a demon. He is. That's where the confusion comes in it. Okay? He is a demon. He is a black silhouette, almost like a shadow. And you'll start having dreams or you'll start having visions. You might see these shadows above you when you're waking up. You might have dreams that something's holding you back, trying to stop you or trying to protect you or stop something from coming for you. That's Jesus. It's a trick. It's a trick. Okay? A lot of times the reason why this is done because it will make you go back to the Bible and start singing or saying, reciting the book of Psalms. The book of Psalms is a trick bag. Okay? It's a trick bag for spells to help you stay up under Jesus' control. It's a trick bag. All right? Throw the whole book away. Don't argue with me. You can argue with somebody else. But that's where I come from on that. Throw the whole book of Psalms away. It's a trick bag. Whenever people work with me and I have to assist them with attachments and things like that, I ask them, do you read the Bible? Are you reciting Psalms? Yeah, I recite Psalms. And they always have the same ones, 23. I think it's 91. And I think it's one more. Stop it now. Stop it right now. That's a conflict of interest when you're working with me. So that's the whole point. Fear tactics again. Fear tactics again. You might be dealing with severe anxiety or depression. Again, it takes you back to the book of Psalms, Proverbs, just getting words of wisdom, you know what I'm saying? Reading Job, you know what I mean? The person who suffered but got it all back. Well, I just go a little longer. I suffer a little longer. I'm going to get everything back. No, 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 no. That's not how it works. Anxiety and depression is your spirit crying out that come and get me. I need help. I'm not working right. Okay? That's your sign. That's why you're having anxiety. That's why you have depression. Okay? That's the spirit screaming out to you that something's wrong. You need to fix it. So don't go back to the Bible. Here's what you do: you need to start ancestral veneration, worshiping your ancestors. Why is this so important? Because your ancestors reside in you when you are born at conception. The church blocks this with that ritual when you turn 12. That is why it says in the Bible, you are not to be baptized before you are 12 years old. They want to block your ancestors. You are supposed to start ancestral worship at the age of 12, the age where you can reproduce, when you start puberty. That is when you are supposed to start. So it's never too late to start ancestral worship, but we got to go to the beginning. If you know me and you know me well, you know I'm heavy on ancestral worship. Okay. That's number one. If you need help on knowing how to do ancestral worship, I have a workshop where I tell you the fundamentals of it to get you started. It is $100. You can email me or DM me and I will give you the information for the workshop. I do one-on-ones or I do whole classes. Okay. So that's number one. Oh, besides getting out the church, that's the step after we've done that and we said we're not following Jesus. That's number one. And the reason why we're doing this is because what we're doing is resurrecting our soul. Where does our soul go while we're still alive? It goes to the bottom of your feet. Other known, the sole of your feet, the sunken place, it's way deep, deep down. This is why Jesus was known to wash feet. So I'm off track a little bit, but let me explain something to you about the soul going to the bottom of your feet while he washes feet. It's very important that you feel safe and secure, that you feel grounded, that you feel stable. How do you help yourself do that? Your feet have to touch ground. They have to touch grass. You hear people say sometimes when you out of touch, go touch grass. You out of touch with reality. You need to go touch some grass. That's very true. Your feet need to be on the grass in the universe. That's energy radiating through you. That's power. And what that does is that gives your root chakra, which is at the base of your spine, is a invisible wheel of energy that turns around in your body that your organs are connected to. And that is for your spirit. It gives your spirit energy. Then, as it gives your spirit energy, it gives the physical body energy, the organs, everything. When that wheel is not spinning, that spirit is suffering. The spirit runs the body. It's called your etheric body, your double, your spirit. We're going to talk about where the spirit goes this Sunday. If that spirit is not working, your body don't work. So, to get it going, to crank that spirit up, you got to be grounded. And that's going to start with your feet touching the ground. So, if Jesus is washing your feet, he's interfering with that energy that you have already in you, right? He's blocking that root chakra from turning. He's blocking it from turning. So guess what? You don't feel safe. You don't feel secure. Anything that was in your family that's generational is coming up in you, which is already going to be there anyway, but you don't recognize what's wrong with you because Jesus is interfering. Remember, the ancestors are supposed to be there to help you with all that because they know what's going on. That's not happening because Jesus is there. So all these things, also your money. That's why church folks are poor. Y'all didn't know that, did you? That's why church people are poor because that root chakra controls your finances. So if Jesus is constantly washing your feet, he's got his energy on there, just going through you, going through you, going through you. Nothing about your ancestors is coming through. You can't even help your damn self, right? So that's where the soul goes, down there. All right. So when you're doing ancestral worship, you're going to also start doing spiritual things. So you're going to start grounding. You're going to let your feet touch the ground. You're going to get a spiritual practice going, a ritual going for yourself that helps you gain that soul back. So the more you do ancestral worship, guess what? You're going to know what you're supposed to be doing in life. You're going to know your path because they're going to give you the direction. So what did I tell you about doing what you're supposed to do in life, your destiny? You're following what was told to you before you got here, right? So guess what? You got your soul back. You're doing what you're supposed to do. There's no more interference. You see your path. No more interference. Now that you got your soul back, it's very important that you stay fixated, stay consistent with your spirituality. And now what you got to do, you got to pass it down to your offspring. Okay? So, lead a church, say it with your mouth. You no longer serving Jesus. Start ancestral worship, doing your calling. That's very important. So say you're doing ancestral worship, you're not doing your calling, you ain't helping yourself. Because when you're doing your destiny, that's a part of your soul. Remember, you're here for a reason. You have a job. Okay? Remember what I said, when you don't do your job, your ancestors put you in purgatory if you're doing ancestral veneration. So that's a no-no. And then also, if your soul's been given away, nobody knows where you are in the astral. You don't even know where you are. You're in the sunken place. It's dark for you. Okay. So you can't stop. Can't stop, won't stop. Get it, get it. All right. That's gonna be our logo. Can't stop, won't stop, get it, get it. I'm gonna make shirts. Okay. So that can be embedded in us. Yeah. It's very important that you take this seriously. Like I said, you should have started as of yesterday. So let's talk about what happens when it's not an easy thing to do. Because what I just told you, I made it sound like it was easy, right? It's not always easy. You're gonna shed some tears. You're gonna be angry. You're gonna be confused. You're gonna feel alone. Those are natural things, but you might be scared. Fear is a natural emotion, but we do not let those things stop us. So when you do your soul retrieval, it causes you to do a lot of shadow work. And what's shadow work? Shadow work is looking at your true self, basically peeling back layers of you that you put on your real self just to accommodate this world instead of accommodating your spirit, right? And this is when the work comes in. Sometimes there are blockages that you do not know. And this is where someone like me comes in. And I'm really going to get something going where I'm helping people with soul retrieval. Okay. Now, this is something that you have to do. Like I said, those first steps, but it could be more to it that you're not able to do. And with my gift that I have, this is where I come in. I'm going to tell you right now, this is a part of my calling. The vision has been given to me as of 2 weeks ago. My people spelled it out as clear to me as day, because I wasn't sure if this is what I need to be doing. I knew I could do it, but not sure if I needed to be assisting people with soul retrieval. But it came to me that I was to do it, and it's also in my natal charts that I am to do it. I found that out as well when the vision came to me. So it's no coincidence that I started talking about this. I currently assist people who have died and are getting themselves ready to have another journey. I currently assist them as they come in as babies before they actually get here. So I take care of them and get them ready. So not only am I supposed to be doing that on the other side, I got to do it here on the earthly realm as well now. So that is also my job. So getting back to what I was saying, in order for this to work, this is the part that some people don't tell you. You have to work with yourself. And I'm not talking about, remember I said get you a ritual and do your spiritual things. It goes deeper than that. Because there are parts of you that give you opposition. There are parts of you that you're only supposed to use at certain times. If you don't know how to use those parts, how to maneuver parts of you, it makes it hard for you to figure things out. So let me give you an example. If you're someone who has a quick temper, but you're trying to control your temper and you're working on that, and things seem to be going good because we have to have balance with everything, right? And you're doing really well in your spiritual journey, but then you feel like there's something more that you need to be doing, and it just doesn't seem like things are coming together for you. Typically, when that happens, there's a blockage because there's something that needs to be done so you can move to the next level, right? But you're not sure what that is. The reason why you're not sure what that is because you're suppressing a part of you, and that's that part with that bad temper. That's supposed to be there, but it's supposed to be used at a certain time. Not saying that you're going to go crazy, but it's supposed to be used in a way that it can help you. So here is where you have to look at your past, your present, and your future. You have to know what those three parts of you have to do and help you right now so you can make sure that you're doing your destiny. And that's where I come in. That's where I can reveal that to you. That's where I can open you up. That's where I can do, it's basically energy work. In a nutshell, it's all energy work, okay? Everybody has to have energy work. I do my energy work as well. And you cannot go further without doing your energy work. And those energy works are the things that I talked about, working those chakras. The three parts of you, how do you use it? That masculine, that feminine, that yin, that yang. Okay? You got to know all those things, right? And what happens is when you're open up, then these things will always be revealed to you. So here's the thing that a lot of practitioners don't tell you, because a lot of people are not willing to do this because it's very intense, strong work. Okay. And I'm not going to lie to you, eventually, this is something that you do have to have done. When you do this, you're able to see with that spirit, that higher brain that I told you, and your middle brain, which is the physical brain, it works better. All right. So when you are born, we are not to know, we're not supposed to have spiritual amnesia. Okay. You're supposed to know what's in your Akashic record that holds your past, present, and future. The reason why you're supposed to know those things because you got to know how to apply it right now. You got to make sure that your energy is matching everything with those timelines. Okay? Let me give you a clear example so you can just kind of like understand what I'm saying. Have you ever felt like you're on repeat, doing the same thing over and over, no different results? Down to where you're wearing the same thing that you wore last year, this year. You'll see a picture and it's the same day, but different year. That's because the energy work is not being done. You're not open. You don't see all parts of you. You don't see everything that this one is supposed to be doing, that one is supposed to be doing, how it works for you now. You got to open that up. So when you give your soul away, that shuts that down. Okay? There's a reason why you do ancestor worship and why your soul does not develop until 21. You're not even supposed to look into kids until they turn 21 years old. I will not look into my children's Akashic record because the soul has not completed development. So what happens is when the soul completes development at 21 and you've gotten the training from your ancestors, any opposition that comes your way when you turn 21, you can fight it off because there's going to be opposition. We have enemies. Okay? We have enemies. We have things. There's karma in our 12th house, in our natal chart. Does it mean bad things happen to you? No. But there's people, there's enemies, there's things that want to stop you from your calling, right? But if you have that training, it can't penetrate you. You know how to use each part of you. You understand what I'm saying? This stuff goes very, very deep. So if you're not starting ancestral worship at 12 years old and being trained up, guess what? It's got to happen at some point. That's where you got to get the work, the energy work done. A lot of people don't know about this part. And that's where the part comes in where you feel like you're there, but you never feel like you're all the way there. That's why. Because that part has not been opened up, and it's a must that part be opened up, because again, you're going to repeat things. Things are not going to be revealed to you, and all this time, see, what's going on is you're getting all these signs, excuse me, you're getting all these signs like synchronicities, seeing numbers or dreams, because your help, your spirit team, your ancestors that's in the astral, that, the deities or whatever that you're supposed to be serving, when y'all sat down at that round table before you got here, y'all made a plan, right? So they're just throwing things at you. Okay, do you please remember, you know what I'm saying? They're throwing all these things at you, but you can't receive it because you have not opened up everything in you. So they're doing what they're supposed to do. You understand what I'm saying? It's you that's not doing everything. So that's why you got to get those blockages removed. That's why you got to open up all those parts to you. And how do you do that? So you got to work with the moon. You got to work with the moon. The full moon is where you want to go to when you're working with the soul and transformation and seeing all of those parts. It's the full moon, okay? And I take you there. That's what I do with my work. I'll take you there. And that's why I say it's very intense, because when you go to the full moon, when the soul goes, it shows you everything, everything, things that you could not even imagine that are standing in your way. And it's going to destroy any opposition, fix any opposition like that. You have no say so. You have no say so. You're trusting. You just got to trust, right? You just got to trust. And then you got to be ready for what comes after that. So, with this being said, you need to make sure that if you want to retrieve your soul, which you should want to, that you are ready to put in that work. There's no if, ands, or buts about it. None whatsoever. You have to be sure. You have to be sure. You cannot go in half stepping with this. So this is how serious this is. Y'all wanted to know about it. I'm telling y'all about it. Okay. And like I said, I was a Christian myself. But you know, even though I knew I had my gifts, I still was put into the church. So it don't matter about the gifts that you have. It matters what you're doing. If you gave that soul away, it's no good. It's no good. And why do you think they want to take your soul? I talked about this. But don't you think that, hold on, let me rephrase this. Based on what I just told you about the moon and everything like that, they talk about the heavens in the Bible. The heavens is any bodily thing above the earth, beside the earth, right? That's why they don't want you having access to that. Remember, the Bible, the book was made by man. There's only certain people who want this power. It's power, y'all. It's power. If everyone had this power, nobody could stop you. Everybody would be on top. And the people in the world don't want that. They don't want nobody to be on top but certain people, right? Everybody can't have this power. That is why they say in the Bible it's forbidden to talk to mediums, necromancy, fortune tellers. Why do you think they say that? Because of what I just told you. It's power. I'm going to let y'all let that sink in. Okay? I'm going to let you sink in. The Bible is made by man. The things that I talk about, they call it the heavens. They know about this. I've done experiments. I'm experimenting. I'm doing myself. This is my call. And I'm ready to get to work. So, I hope this video helped you guys. Please join my live on Sunday, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We're going to be, what's Sunday's date? The 6th, April the 6th, this Sunday, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We're going to be talking about the spirit. What happens to the spirit when you die? You don't want to miss it. We talked about the soul. Now it's time to talk about the spirit. I got a lot to cover on the spirit. And you guys are going to be pleasantly surprised with the things that we're going to talk about. So you don't want to miss it. So again, if you feel compelled, please like, comment, and share. I love to see all your comments. Put them in there. I use this so I can make more videos. Also, I'm going to be starting my membership, and the membership is going to be everything paranormal, supernatural. This is going to be where I do my live, and we're going to be doing, I'm going to be helping people. I'm going to be doing afterlife communication, talking to you if you got things going on in your home, anything supernatural going on. That's what the membership is going to be dedicated to. So I'm going to get that going, and I'm probably going to have those lives on, I'm thinking Wednesday night. Y'all let me know what would be best. I'm trying to get a feel so I can get a schedule based on, everybody, so people can participate. But my membership, that's what that's going to be focused on. We're going to be doing those type of things with that. So just give me your feedback. I can't wait to get that started. And thank you guys so much for the feedback that you currently give. And I'm just glad that I'm able to share my gift, share my thoughts with you guys, and be able to give you the information that has been given to me that I have been privy to be a part of and see. I don't want to keep it to myself. I want to be able to let people know, because the more you know while you're alive, the more that you help yourself when you go to the afterlife. All right. So until next time, talk to you guys later. Bye.